guys, so the next decan, and this is the Eight of Wands, and I've been looking at the Thoth deck and the Rider-Waite-Smith as usual. Kai's doing it. What are you doing, Kai? Yeah, the Rider-Waite-Smith and the Thoth deck, and various other decks as well, just to see their take on the same energy and how they depict that energy. And I've been looking into goddesses and gods and rainbows. There's been a lot of rainbows the last few weeks. So much rain, so much rain. Where did it all come from? And today has been a really nice sunny day actually, so we've been out walking, haven't we? Yeah, so Kai's a little bit tired. Yeah, so rain and sun. There's been some spectacular rainbows. I've managed to take some photos, so I'll put those up. So yeah, I sort of looked at the goddess Iris and her story. I've looked at octahedrons, platonic solids. Sounds complicated, doesn't it? But it really isn't. I'll go into that. I've got some fluorite octahedrons. Obviously, I've been looking into crystals because that's my thing. And also, this decan, or the next three cards, are all related to Sagittarius, and I am Sagittarian. So, you know, they've had relevance to me, and it's quite exciting really just to see how much relevance. Incredible really. And it makes you wonder about the nature-nurture debate, because I've seen so many correlations with my personality that are coming up in these cards, and I'm thinking, wow, that's just one word, isn't it? Wow. But yeah, it's just quite, I don't even have a word for it. I don't have a descriptive. It does make you wonder if we are, how much control we have over our personalities. I don't think we can change, can I? I think we are who we are. I mean, there is, like I said, that nature-nurture debate, whether it's, you know, are we born this way, or is it to do with our environment or our parents or our ancestry, or, you know, how much is predetermined, that's the word. How much is predetermined and how much is our own choice, really. So there's that. Yeah, and this energy, the energy of this card is really amazing. So I can't wait to share with you everything that I've discovered. So I will see you in a few minutes when I film top down, but I just thought I'd do this little introduction before the light goes. I mean, I might have to actually film the other part of the video tomorrow when there's some more light, because the light is actually going now. But yeah, I just thought I'd pop on and yeah, talk to you about what I'm going to talk to you about. An introduction to the video. Okay. If you do like my content, I'd love it if you would give me a thumbs up, just to let me know that you're enjoying it. And if you want to subscribe, that would be amazing. And thank you to my new subscribers. I am aware I'm getting some new subscribers, and it just means the world to me. So thank you so much from me and from my Kai. So see you in a minute. Bye. It's the following day, I'm afraid, and it's late in the afternoon, and I do apologise. I apologise. The weather has been so gorgeous that I couldn't resist going out, and instead of filming this video, I went out. Had a walk on the beach with the dog, and we've had a lovely time watching the massive waves and watching the surfers. They are so adept at what they do. Some really good professional surfers out today, and I have took a little video which I'll put at the end of this video if you're interested in seeing it. But interestingly enough, in one of the books that I've read, they described the mages here as being on the tip of a surfboard. It looks a little bit like a surfboard, doesn't it? I don't think it was meant to be, though. I don't think Lady Frida was thinking about surfboards when she designed the painting for that. But anyway, I just thought it was, yeah, funny. My sense of humour. So we're talking today about the Eight of Wands, okay? And the Eight of Wands with the two cards that correspond to it in the Decan, which is the Magician and the Temperance. There are also other cards that correspond as well with the Decan, but I'm not going to talk about those today. I'm just concentrating on a small part of this because although I've researched it and loved researching it, to actually talk about it on this video, I feel like I'm actually teaching a lesson, which is not what I want to do. I just want to show what I've discovered, really, and my excitement of what I've discovered. So I'm not going to do it as a lesson, okay? I do encourage you to research yourself, because what I've found is, as I've been reading and doing the research, the cards have sort of come to life for me. I mean, here you just see 7 wands flying through the air and you think, yeah, well, okay, there's 7 wands. What is it, a javelin thrower? What's going on there? But there's actual whole reasons behind all this, fascinating reasons. Now, you may or may not notice, but it looks to me like this is a crystal. It's certainly an octahedron shape. And I've got some fluorite crystals that are an octahedron shape, naturally formed. So we see these in nature, and Plato talks about the building blocks of life being 5 platonic solids, they're called, and they're 5 structures that he believed that all of life was built upon, which is really, really interesting. And the octahedron is one of them. So Thoth talks about the rays here emanating out as being electrical, electrified, sharp. The ones have become full of energy, buzzing, absolutely full of energy, and they're shooting off from the prism. And we have a rainbow here, which I'm going to talk about in a little bit, because it's the whole rainbow thing. We've also got rainbows on this card. Difficult to see, but they are there. There's rainbows. This is the Sagittarian arrow here, coming up the tree of life and splitting into rainbows on her cloak. Well, you might be able to see it. And so each side has taken on the other side's attributes. So you can see here you've got a pale face, pale arm, dark face. Everything is swapped over, even the colours of the animals, which relate to another card. But as I say, I'm not going into all that. It's fascinating stuff. I do encourage you to look at it for yourself. The wands shooting down here remind me of something I read in Elizabeth Gilbert book called Big Magic, and she talked about ideas that seem to come from nowhere. You get these aha moments, which basically this card is very much about the aha moment, the light bulb moment. So when you get these ideas coming at you, she recommends to actually do something with that idea, because if you don't, then that idea will land on somebody else. So here we have sort of ideas floating through the air. Well, actually not floating, but directionally coming down from spirit to matter. And it's up to you to grab that idea and go with it, go with it and see where it takes you. Because if you don't, somebody else will. And this is very fast movement. This isn't going to last. So, it's like grab it while you can is sort of the message here. And we've got a river flowing as well. So that could be tied to your emotions. Okay. So yeah, the basic messages messages coming at you, inspiration coming at you, really fast, swift movement. Grab it while you can. That's the sort of thing. So the Magus, if you look at the Magician, he's got all these tools, and he can actually materialize something from these ideas that are coming out of the ether. He's actually got the skills to make something from them. And if you see here, the Magician's stance, we've got him actually conducting spirit down to matter. One hand up, one hand down, and all his tools on the table. Same with this Magician. He's got all his tools floating around him. He's smiling, he's happy, he's floating, and he knows he can bring down all these ideas and manifest them into the physical realm. And the art card, or Temperance, well, she takes all these things and mixes them together to produce something beautiful. Okay. So she's got fire, she's got water, she's got the green dress, which is growth. Lots of symbology on these cards. So listening to the podcast, Fortune's Wheelhouse, T. Susan Chung and M. Emmeline, they're talking about this being double Mercury. And the reason for this is the Magician is associated with Mercury, and also the position on the tree of life of the 8 is Hod, which is also attributed to Mercury. So the Magician is Mercury, and the 8, or Hod, on the tree of life is Mercury. So that makes it a double Mercury. And Mercury, one of the attributes is Quicksilver. So there again, we've got the fast movement. We've got the swiftness. But the thing about it is, because it's swift, because it's fast, it's fleeting, here and gone. The thing about Mercury being in the sign of Sagittarius, which is in this decan, it doesn't sit very well. So the messages can be quite blunt. I likened it to maybe Gordon Ramsay. Blunt talk. He tells you like it is, and I'm afraid, although I'm not as bad as Gordon Ramsay, no way am I as bad as Gordon Ramsay, but in my younger days, I would say it as I saw it, and it doesn't always go down very well. You know, tact and diplomacy weren't in my vocabulary. I can't even say that word. I would just say what I thought, and I didn't filter. In fact, my mum was the same. But over the years, I discovered that actually can hurt people. And it's unintentional. I never ever meant to. It's just I'm a Sagittarian, born the 5th of December, and it is in my remit, if you like, to be like that. So I've had to learn to temper it. And of course, temperance is when you hone yourself, they liken it to a sword. You know, a sword has to go into hot water. A sword goes into fire, and then it goes into cold water. You know, it has to be tempered. Steel has to be tempered. And I think I had to be tempered as well. And I had to learn, and I did learn that, you know, saying what I saw without thinking about hurting other people wasn't the way to go. And so I tempered myself, and I think it's a lesson. You know, I mean, youth are like that a little bit anyway, but I think I was more. So I used to think I had foot and mouth disease, as in my foot was always in my mouth. But yeah, I learned, as I said, over the years to temper it. Let's talk a little bit about the rainbow. So, as I said, Mercury is assigned, double Mercury is assigned to this decan, and he is a messenger. And another messenger is Iris, and she is the goddess of the rainbow. it was said that she travelled the rainbow in between the sea and the sky. And so she would take the water from the sea up into the sky to make clouds so that it would rain. But she also, she was a Greek goddess that delivered the messages between the realms. And I love rainbows. There's been so many rainbows this last week with all the rain we've had and the beautiful sun coming through. And like this card, like the message of this fleeting aspect of this card, rainbows are as well, aren't they? You know, they're here, they're gone, you can't touch them. They say the pot of gold is at the end of the rainbow. But has anyone ever found it? Rainbows are fleeting, absolutely beautiful. I always feel blessed to see one. And a prism will split white light into many different colours, just like a rainbow. The rainbow effect. And so if we look at the tree of life from Keter down, Keter is pure white light, then it refracts into all different colours down that tree of life, so it acts like a rainbow. I just want to show some more cards actually while I'm here. This is Liberty. So Liberty is very, very much like, actually let's put it underneath and you can see what I mean. Liberty is very much like the Thoth Tarot here. The images are quite similar here, but here in the actual card itself, the Seven of Wands, we've got a little bit of a different image. Here again, we've split that prism. Is it in focus? There we go. Split that prism, electrical rays rushing out, and this guy here on the edge of the rainbow, capturing one of the ideas. Is that nice? This is the Star Tarot. And look at the beautiful, beautiful art card. The rainbows in the wings. So gorgeous. This deck has a lot of cards with rainbows in. This is the Magician. You can actually see the transmission of will here. From the heavens to the earth. And all emanating out, but from the heart. And interestingly, the crystals assigned to it are heart chakras crystals, so that's a nice correlation. This is the Cosmic Tribe Tarot. There is nudity in this deck, sorry, but there is, but you know, I've got it set as not for children. So if this does offend you, I'm terribly sorry. Look away now. Okay, so I'll come to the top of the card actually. So you can see the Magician there, and he's playing with those tools and having a lovely time. He's very happy. This is the art card. Again, you can see that rainbow. Look at that gorgeous rainbow there. And he's got the cauldron with the fire. Combining water and fire. And then the actual card itself. You might notice there are hands at the end of those wands. And of course we've got a chakra in the middle of our hands as well. So they might, are they shooting that light out? Are they shooting those messages out? Or are they reaching to grab them in? Next, this is the Millennium Thoth. So again, it's very, very similar to the Thoth itself. And this is the card. All that electrical energy shooting out. Okay, so then I thought we'd take a little look at some more sort of modern type renditions and see how they differ. So first I've got the New Era Element Tarot. So Temperance is completely different. In fact, all of the cards are very, very different. So for the Magician, it's a very, very modern take on it. Maybe it's a property developer, I don't know. And for Temperance, this one is really interesting because in the guidebook it talks about, there's a very little information in this New Era Elements guidebook, but it does say that this is a Hindu tradition where they offer up water to the sun. And I thought that was a lovely correlation with the rainbow idea. And then for the Eight of Wands itself and swiftness, they've got racing cars. So split-second decisions that can actually mean life or death. You know, it's a very dangerous sport, as we know. Here we have the Zillick Tarot. Zillick Tarot, I've just got the tin version. So we've got our Magician. Completely different art style. Temperance. In the water, but this time what I like about this deck is the card, the Eight of Wands itself, has got the rainbow on it and crystal. Look, there's a crystal there. Yeah. Don't know if it'll focus actually. There we go. So she's skipping through that rainbow. Isn't that gorgeous? I love the rainbow themes. And then finally I've got the Outgrow Yourself, which is a tarot. It's described as a tarot oracle deck, so it's both. So what they mean by that is they've got the image and the normal association, but then they've got keywords. So for the Magician, it's got trust your tools. For Temperance, it's got plant, forget, harvest. We've still got the cauldron here. And then for the card itself, swiftness, Eight of Wands, we have got power is present. And she's actually got the rainbow here. And she's making something from it. She's growing something from those ideas and actually bringing them into fruition. So we've got jade, lapidolite and blue lace agate. Now, one thing I want to mention about blue lace agate is the fact that it's all about communication. It's a throat chakra stone, lovely blue. But it is about communication. So it's about not only about speaking, but it's also about listening. And it occurred to me, if I looked at this card, what I was seeing, if you could imagine this as sound waves, okay? So it could be a voice, it could be music, but sound waves. And if you imagine the rainbow as like a receptacle, like even maybe an ear, you could listen to, and it's because this seems very masculine and this seems very feminine, okay? So this is my thoughts. So if this is communication here, and this is reception, then that's really does align with blue lace agate and its message or its energy of communication. And if you look at the bands there, they're almost like bands of energy, aren't they? That was my thought anyway. Hey, so that was nice. The other stones were lapidolite. Should take these out of the shot. So we have lapidolite and we have jade. Lapidolite was for Temperance, and as you can see, those colours really match up there. Jade for the Magician, again, lovely match. And then blue lace, as I said, for the Eight of Wands. Okay, now then, what I found really, really interesting, I was looking at Crystal Power, Crystal Healing, the Michael Geiger book, for each of these crystals. He doesn't actually list blue lace agate, but I've already spoken about that. But I wanted to just highlight what he said about jade and lepidolite. So for jade, he says here mentally, if you can read that, jade stimulates ideas and promotes a readiness for action. So isn't that brilliant? Decisions are transformed into action without hesitation. That really, really goes along with that card, doesn't it? So with this Eight of Wands. And then for lepidolite, mentally, lepidolite encourages objective evaluation and targeted decision making. It helps us concentrate on what is essential, to stick to our intentions and neutralise distractions. That just really, really goes along with the Ace of Wands. So I thought that was really, really interesting. And then finally, a little bit of a different take on the Eight of Wands is Patrick Valenza's Deviant Moon Tarot. So I thought I'll get the big picture out for you. I'll get the big picture out in the book. There we go. So this is a bit of a different take, isn't it? We've got this lady here with a scythe and she's about to like chop those sticks down. But is she being too enthusiastic about doing it? You know, it says in the book that somebody already tried it once because they're blunt here. So somebody already had a go at like chopping these wands down. She's also got a wand as the scythe. And they still grew regardless. So even if you don't take that swift inspiration, that aha moment, and do something with it, if you just, you know, slice it out of your life and not even think about it, the message that's actually coming from spirit here, then somebody else is going to actually take it and it's still going to grow. At some point it's going to grow, but not with you. So I think that's, you know, it's a different sort of image, but maybe she's being too quick to actually chop those ideas down before even examining them and seeing if there's something that she could actually employ and make something from. You know, those leaves here, they're ready to sprout. They're not formed ideas yet. They are just ideas waiting to form, waiting to sprout, waiting to grow into something great. So if we look at the Rider-Waite-Smith, here we see it again. We've got these little leaves here waiting to sprout, to grow into something. So anyway, yes, that's my little Decan chat for the last 10 days. I hope you enjoyed it. I just put up a little bit from our walk this morning, and I hope everybody's doing well. Bye for now. Bye.